That week, everything in my life felt completely out of control. It was as if my entire existence had become tangled right in front of my eyes. I was so exhausted that even breathing felt difficult. That's why I decided to leave the city for a few days. I found the hotel online, an old, isolated building far outside the city limits. By the time I reached the road leading to it, night had already fallen. Thick fog covered everything, and my headlights barely showed a few meters ahead. The GPS kept disconnecting every couple of minutes, as if it didn't want to guide me to my destination. When the faint yellow hotel sign finally appeared through the fog, my heart skipped a beat. The building stood in the darkness like a massive, cold shadow. There was no sound, no wind, no animals, no passing cars, just silence. A silence that felt alive. I stood there for a moment, thinking about turning back, but I told myself, just a few nights. Just rest. If only I had known what was waiting for me inside that hotel. I would have turned around immediately. The moment I pushed open the heavy hotel door, the smell of damp, aged wood hit my face. The lobby was half dark, lit only by a small desk lamp whose light crawled slowly across the walls. Behind the counter stood the receptionist, a man with pale skin and tired eyes, as if he hadn't slept in years. He didn't greet me. In a rough, low voice, he asked, "Do you have a reservation?" I gave him my name. He opened an old leather-bound book and found it. But when his eyes reached the room number, he froze. He slowly looked up at me, staring straight into my face. "Room 313. You don't have a problem with that, do you?" I swallowed hard. Problem? Why would I? He hesitated, said nothing. He simply placed a heavy, old-fashioned key on the counter. As I picked it up, he quietly added, "If you feel anything, before midnight, call the front desk." There was something hidden in his words, but I was too tired to ask questions. The hallway was narrow and the lights didn't turn on together. One light flickered on, then another, then another. My footsteps echoed loudly, bouncing back toward me, as if someone else was walking at the same time. At the very end of the hallway, I saw the door. Room 313. Suddenly, a strange cold sensation crawled up my spine. It felt like someone was standing directly behind me, breathing softly against my neck. I turned around. The hallway was completely empty. Still, the feeling didn't disappear. It felt like something was waiting for me. Right behind that door, the room itself was simple, ordinary. But one thing immediately caught my attention. A large old mirror placed directly across from the bed, something you normally don't see in hotels. I stepped closer. The mirror had a dark wooden frame, its surface slightly warped, like mirrors from the 19th century. Faint scratch marks covered the glass. But the strangest thing was my reflection. I looked at myself and felt like the image was too still, as if it was staring directly back at me. Not a reflection of me, but something that looked like me. I took a step back. The reflection moved too, but slightly later. Maybe I was just tired. Or at least that's what I told myself. That night, while sitting on the bed and trying to watch a movie, I heard a sound, very faint. A whisper. It was coming from the mirror. At first I thought it was the wind, but the window was closed. The whisper came again, soft, careful, as if someone was standing behind the mirror, speaking quietly. With shaking hands, I turned on my phone's voice recorder and pointed it toward the mirror. I heard nothing at the time, but when I played the recording back, a clear voice whispered, "You're late, too." It felt like someone had been waiting for me. Like room 313 wasn't just a room, it was a turn. The next morning, I went down to the lobby for breakfast. It was almost empty. Only an old man sat near the window staring outside. When he saw me, he slowly raised his head and said with a trembling voice, 313? His eyes flashed, not with joy, but with fear. "Yes," I said. "That's my room." He nodded slowly. "Every year someone goes in there," he whispered. "The mirrors always keep one." I stepped closer. "What do you mean? What mirror?" Suddenly he stopped talking, turned his head back toward the window as if he had never spoken to me at all. The second night, the real nightmare began. I reached for a glass of water. My hand moved, but my reflection followed seconds later. Not much, but clearly delayed. I moved the glass again. The reflection hesitated again. This time, it felt intentional. My heart froze. I was certain that whatever was inside the mirror was not me. Or at least, not only me. As I stared at the mirror, a dark shadow appeared behind me. Very close. Very large. It breathed. I heard it breathing. I turned around. No one was there. But when I looked back at the mirror, the shadow was still there, standing directly behind my reflection. And this time, my reflection smiled. I stopped breathing for several seconds. Then suddenly, the mirror changed. It showed the room, the bed, the desk, the lamp. But I wasn't there. I turned around. I was standing in the real room, right in front of the mirror, but the mirror said otherwise. It said, "You're not here." With trembling hands, I grabbed my phone and called the front desk. The man's voice sounded afraid. "Is something wrong with your room?" I said. "The mirror, the reflection, it's not right." There was a long silence. Then he whispered, "If you can, leave the room immediately." I asked why. He didn't answer. He only said, "That mirror is the only thing keeping it contained." The line went dead. I grabbed my belongings and ran to the door. I pulled the handle. It wouldn't open. I pulled harder. Still nothing. It felt like someone was holding the door from the other side. Behind me, heavy breathing grew louder. The same breath. The same shadow. I didn't dare turn around. Slowly, I turned toward the mirror, and I saw it. Another version of me, exactly like me, but darker, decayed, with a smile I had never worn. In a hoarse voice, it said, "It's your turn," and it stepped forward. The next morning, the hotel staff opened the door to room 313. The room was completely empty. No sign of struggle, no guest, only the mirror remained. And inside it, someone was standing there, motionless, waiting. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Let us know what you think and whether you would stay in room 313. Until next time, stay safe and good night.